Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Always great to be back.
Ready to plunge headfirst into William Gibson's Count Zero.
Absolutely.
Sounds like from the excerpts you sent, we're in for quite a ride, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Gibson, he really weaves this intricate story. Three main characters, Turner, Bobby Newmark, and Marley Krishkova.
Right.
Yeah.
A tapestry of corporate espionage, futuristic tech, pushing the boundaries of humanity, all that good stuff.
Classic cyberpunk.
Let's start with Turner. He's this operative. Danger's his middle name.
Always walking a tightrope.
That scene with the Russian roulette, intense.
Oh, yeah, really sets the tone. Trust is a valuable commodity in this world, or the lack thereof, rather. And it sets up his mission. Extracting a scientist, Christopher Mitchell, defecting from Ma's biolabs to Hosaka, their rival.
Talk about high stakes.
Yeah.
And the extraction. Modified oil tanker.
Yeah.
And ultralight aircraft. Turner's resourceful, to say the least.
He has to be. Things get even more complicated when Turner runs into Angie, Mitchell's daughter, at the extraction point.
Mm-hmm.
They barely escape as the whole facility blows sky high. Makes you wonder what was so crucial about Mitchell's work that it warranted such drastic measures.
Lots of questions. And speaking of questions, let's move on to Bobby Newmark, our Count Zero. He's young, ambitious, a hacker, a cowboy, trying to make a name for himself in cyberspace.
Cyberspace is like a character itself in Gibson's work, not just an abstract space, but a landscape with its own set of rules, its own dangers.
You see that when Bobby uses a powerful icebreaker program, right?
Right.
Tries to hack into a secure system and ends up in a near-death experience.
Yeah, a digital bad trip, but with real-world consequences.
And then there are those entities Bobby encounters in cyberspace.
Mm-hmm.
Strange, hinting at something beyond our grasp.
Makes you wonder, is it artificial intelligence?
No.
Or something even more profound lurking in the digital world, a classic cyberpunk theme, technology evolving beyond our control, leading to unintended consequences.
Right. And of course, Bobby has Two-A-Day as his mentor, this seasoned hacker. But then you throw in Beauvoir, a voodoo practitioner.
Interesting mix, right? Technology and mysticism. It's a hallmark of cyberpunk, suggesting a link between the digital and the spiritual. Maybe even a way for humanity to find meaning amidst the tech.
Like ancient beliefs finding new form in this futuristic world.
Exactly.
Then we have the Hypermart, this bustling black market inn, of all places, a repurposed department store. Really gives you a glimpse into the underbelly of society.
A melting pot of hackers, criminals, everyday folks just trying to survive, often outside the law. Bobby gets tangled in all of it, caught between powerful corporations, ending up working with Jammer, a retired cowboy with ties to the Yakuza. Things escalate quickly.
Definitely. Now let's talk about Marley Krishkova. She's an art expert, a philosopher, hired by Joseph Virek, a billionaire recluse. Her task, track down this mysterious artist known as the Wig.
What's fascinating is how Gibson uses technology to show power dynamics. Marley interacts with Virek through this sophisticated SimStim setup, letting her experience his sensory input. It highlights Virek's wealth, his influence, and creates this sense of unease, like how much control does he really have?
He's like a virtual puppet master.
Yeah, and Marley becomes increasingly uncomfortable with Virek's surveillance, his manipulative tactics. It adds to the psychological suspense.
SimSim itself is interesting. It can connect people, but also be used for manipulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It blurs the lines between reality and virtuality.
And Marley's search for the Wig takes a dark turn in a seedy Parisian hotel. She discovers the body of her former lover, Elaine. It's a stark reminder of the dangers she's facing.
A classic noir element. A web of deceit, nobody's trustworthy.
Right.
That death, it adds personal stakes to Marley's story, pushes her to confront Virek, question his motives. It's a clash between a woman seeking truth and a man shrouded in secrecy.
It's like, as these three characters face their own challenges, their paths are subtly intertwining, right?
Yeah.
Turner's fight for survival, Bobby's ambition, Marley's search for answers. They seem to be converging, hinting at a bigger mystery.
That's Gibson's brilliance. Creating seemingly separate narratives, each with its own intrigue, then slowly revealing the connections, drawing you deeper into the story.
Like pieces of a puzzle coming together.
Yeah.
Fascinating, but unsettling.
Definitely. These excerpts, they give us a taste of Count Zero's depth. You see corporate power, the dangers of cyberspace, but also the power of human connection in a tech-dominated world.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning. We'll delve deeper into these themes and the characters' intertwined journeys in our next deep dive.
We'll unravel the mysteries surrounding the biochip technology, the enigmatic wig, and those entities in cyberspace. Get ready for a wild ride through Gibson's neon-drenched world.
Can't wait.
That cyberspace dive, it left its mark on Bobby. More than just a bad trip, he wakes up in a clinic, physically scarred, head-pounding.
Digital world hitting back hard. But he gets let's say, an interesting visitor while recovering, right?
Oh, yeah. 2 a day, along with some serious-looking types who seem to know a lot about Bobby's cowboy skills. They offer him a job, and it's clear they operate on a whole other level, resources and knowledge Bobby can only dream of.
Classic cyberpunk, right? Powerful, shadowy forces calling the shots. Bobby's ambition, it's no surprise he gets drawn in. What kind of job are we talking about?
Details are pretty vague. A high-stakes mission, something that needs Bobby's cyberspace talents. They mention a breaker program, supposedly can crack any system. Makes you wonder what they're really after.
While Bobby's getting mixed up in this underworld, Turner's dealing with the aftermath of that destroyed facility, trying to protect Angie. He takes her to his brother Rudy, right? Like a futuristic medic.
More like a tech-savvy healer. Rudy patches people up with a mix of medical know-how and high-tech gadgets. When he scans Angie, though, he finds an implant in her head. Something put there by her father, Mitchell.
Unsettling. Like a hidden piece of her past with unknown implications. What was Mitchell thinking? And then, just as they make this discovery, news breaks that Moz Biolabs has announced Christopher Mitchell's death. An accident, they say. Convenient timing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a little too convenient. Smells like a cover-up. Turner and Angie, they're in deep now. Danger closing in. And while they're on the run, Marley's investigation in Paris takes a dark turn.
Her instincts about Vurek's surveillance, they were spot on. What does she find in that Parisian hotel?
While searching for the wig, she stumbles upon the body of her former lover, Elaine. Not random. A message, maybe. A reminder of the dangerous game she's in.
That noir feeling again, that sense of nobody being who they seem. How does Marley react to this?
She decides to confront Vurek. Head on. Through his system, no less. Pretty bold, considering his control over tech and his manipulative streak.
That confrontation, it must be tense. Playing out in a virtual space where Vurek holds all the cards, what happens when she challenges him?
It's a battle of wills. You can practically feel Vurek's power, his wealth through the SimStim. He reveals that he knew all along Mitchell wasn't the real mastermind behind the biochip tech. Someone else was feeding him info, and Vurek, he wants to find that source.
So there's a hidden player, maybe even more powerful than Moz or Hosaka, pulling strings. And Vurek thinks Marley might lead him to them.
While Marley's dealing with that revelation, Bobby finds himself in a strange place. It's called the Hypermart, this bustling black market in a repurposed department store. Really captures that mix of high-tech and gritty survivalism.
What's Bobby doing in this chaotic marketplace? I thought he was supposed to be laying low.
He is, but Bobby, he can't resist the lure of cyberspace. He teams up with another hacker, Jackie, and they use Jammer's custom deck to jack back into the Matrix.
Sounds like a recipe for trouble. What are they after in cyberspace this time?
They're trying to gather intel on whoever's targeting them, but their exploration leads to another encounter. Another digital entity. This one calls itself Ugu Foray, a voodoo spirit.
The digital and the spiritual, those lines are getting blurrier by the minute.
Yeah.
What does this spirit tell them?
Ugu Foray warns them about danger, reveals that one of their associates, Lucas, is dead. And as if things weren't bad enough, they get chased through cyberspace by unknown enemies.
Sounds terrifying. A digital chase scene. How do they escape?
That's where Jammer's favor with the Yakuza comes in. Turns out those connections, they have skills in both worlds, the physical and the digital. They become Bobby and Jackie's only hope of getting out alive.
And back in the real world, Turner and Angie are trying to stay one step ahead of their pursuers. They find a temporary refuge in an abandoned drive-in theater, a moment of quiet in this crazy world.
Yeah, a brief respite. It's during this time that their relationship deepens. They both need to survive. They're both dealing with trauma. A bond forms. Angie reveals that she knows who implanted the device in her head. Her father.
Wow, that changes things. What could Mitchell's motive have been for doing that to his daughter?
Meanwhile, Marley's search for the wig takes her to Freeside, a space habitat for the ultra-rich. But Marley, she's not there for a vacation.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
What'd she find on this luxurious space station?
Her search leads her to a group of independent women, resourceful, operating outside the usual rules. They might hold the key to finding the wig, but there's something more to them, more than meets the eye.
The plot thickens. I have a feeling this is more than just about a missing artist. What's the connection to the other characters, though?
These women, they have ties to Finn, the same guy who sold Bobby that dangerous icebreaker program. And as Marley gets closer, the lines between these seemingly separate stories start to blur. The truth behind Virek's manipulation starts to come into focus.
Everything's connected. But how?
Get ready, things are about to get even wilder. While exploring Freeside, Marley comes across a live feed from one of the Whigs' sermon screens, and who's broadcasting. Joseph Virek himself.
He's been behind it all along. What does he reveal to Marley?
Virek, he confesses to orchestrating everything. Mitchell's defection, the destroyed facility, Angie's escape, all to get closer to the source of the biochip tech. He even reveals the location of this mysterious entity, claiming he knows who's been feeding Mitchell info.
Mind blown. He's playing a game on a grand scale, using everyone as pawns in his power grab. What's his endgame, though? And what does all this have to do with the Whig and those entities Bobby met in cyberspace? We're about to find out as we dive into the final act of Count Zero. Back for the final act of Count Zero, and things are definitely heating up. Betrayals, revelations, mysteries swirling around like a digital storm.
We left off with Virek, remember, spilling the beans about his master plan, manipulating everything and everyone to find the source of the biochip tech. But there's more to it than that, right? A connection to those entities Bobby ran into in cyberspace.
Those digital beings, more than just glitches. Seems like they're tied to Angie, to that implant in her head.
Yeah, it's not just a monitoring device. It's a link, a way for those entities to reach into the physical world. They're drawn to Angie. They need her.
So many questions. Why Angie? What do they want? What was Mitchell thinking when he put that implant in her? And where does Turner fit in all of this?
He's in a tough spot. Wants to protect Angie. She's just a kid caught in something she doesn't understand. But he also knows she's the key to figuring this whole mess out.
While Turner's figuring things out, Bobby and Jackie, they're still stuck in cyberspace trying to shake those digital enemies.
Their escape. It all hinges on Jammer and his Yakuza connection. That favor he never called in comes in handy now. Turns out the Yakuza, they know their way around the digital world too. Gives Bobby and Jackie a fighting chance.
Marcine. Meanwhile, on that space station, she's getting closer to the truth about the Whig and those digital entities.
She discovers those beings, they might be more than just AI, a new form of life maybe emerging from cyberspace, wanting to connect with us. And they think Angie's the bridge between their world and ours.
It's all starting to come together. Corporations, the Yakuza, digital entities, and in the middle of it all, Angie Mitchell.
Count Zero, it's not just a story, it's an exploration of what it means to be human in a world where tech is changing everything. We see ethical dilemmas, the consequences of ambition, and how human connection can still be powerful even in the face of overwhelming change.
And the story doesn't give you easy answers. Makes you think, really think about tech, about AI, about what it means to be human.
Count Zero sticks with you, you know. It makes you look at your own relationship with tech, with the world around you.
This deep dive is just the tip of the iceberg. Count Zero has so much more to offer. I encourage you to read it. Experience this thrilling, thought-provoking story yourself.
And if you're ready to dive into Gibson's world, we've got a link in the show notes where you can buy a copy.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives. Share this episode with your friends, and let us know what you thought of Count Zero in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.